General Hospital spoilers reveal that Sidwell is scheming to frame Alexis using Helena's dagger, a dark, calculated plan. This ancient dagger, the very weapon that took the life of Alexis's mother years ago, is now in Sidwell's possession, perfectly suited for his twisted agenda. By cleverly inviting Alexis to Windmere and orchestrating a situation where she touches the dagger, leaving her fingerprints behind. It's clear this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision but a well-thought-out conspiracy. Sidwell has done extensive research into Alexis's past, especially her complex ties to the Cassadine family and the tragedies that have haunted them. He understands that the dagger is more than just physical evidence, it's a symbol of pain and loss in Alexis's life. By using it, Sidwell is not only attacking her physically, but psychologically as well, knowing that being accused of using the weapon that killed her mother would deliver a devastating emotional blow. What's more chilling is that this obsession may tie directly into Sidwell's desire to seize control of Windmere. The ancient castle, rich in history and immeasurable value, has become Sidwell's fixation. He doesn't merely want it as a property, he wants the power and influence that come with it. Windmere represents the legacy of the Cassadine family, a legacy Sidwell has long admired and envied. By taking over Windmere, he doesn't just achieve a material goal, he also satisfies his craving for recognition and respect in Port Charles. Sidwell has spent months, possibly years, studying the history of Windmere and the Cassadine family. He's gathered every piece of information he could, from secrets hidden in passageways to stories of those who lived and died within its walls. He believes that owning Windmere means more than possessing a valuable estate, it's about gaining control over the secrets and power it holds. But his obsession with Windmere doesn't end at ownership. Sidwell wants to transform it into the new center of power in Port Charles, a fortress that reflects both its historical mystery and his modern ambitions. In his mind, Windmere will stand as a symbol of his rise, a testament to his success and dominance. If Sidwell is indeed exploiting the existing animosity between Ava and Alexis to frame Alexis, it could lead to a catastrophic outcome. The ongoing feud, especially after Christina's tragedy and Ava's blackmail over incriminating information, has created the perfect backdrop for Sidwell's scheme. He could easily stage a scenario where Alexis appears to have attacked Ava in a fit of rage, using the dagger now marked with her fingerprints. Sidwell has meticulously studied Ava and Alexis's relationship, gathering every detail of their conflicts. He knows tensions have escalated, especially with Ava holding damaging info over Christina. He sees this as the perfect moment to strike, when people would readily believe Alexis acted out of maternal desperation. This not only removes Alexis, an intelligent lawyer who could threaten his plans, but also throws the entire Port Charles legal system into disarray. A high-profile lawyer accused of attempted murder would send shockwaves through the town, creating a power vacuum Sidwell is eager to exploit. The fallout would extend beyond Alexis and Ava, affecting many in town. Christina, already emotionally fragile, would be crushed watching her mother face such grave charges. The guilt of knowing her actions contributed to this situation could send her spiraling into self-destruction. Molly, just rebuilding her bond with Christina, would be torn between loyalty to her mother and her sister. This could fracture the Davis family in ways that may take years to heal. And Sonny, fiercely protective of his family, wouldn't sit by while the mother of his daughter is wrongly accused. A clash between Sonny and Sidwell could trigger a power struggle that reshapes the balance in Port Charles. As Sidwell moves forward with his plan, he has a spy, Marco, embedded within Alexis's law firm. With his new position, Marco has access to sensitive information. He can eavesdrop, read confidential files, and even plant surveillance devices. With each passing day, he gathers more ammunition for Sidwell to use against Alexis. Meanwhile, Alexis remains unaware of the looming danger. Her focus is on shielding Christina from Ava's threats, not realizing that every step she takes is being monitored and manipulated to incriminate her. Every argument with Ava, every move to protect Christina, becomes evidence in Sidwell's grand setup. But will they realize the plot before it's too late? Or will Sidwell succeed in turning Alexis into a criminal and seizing Windmere, forever altering the power structure of Port Charles? As time runs out, tensions in the town rise. People begin taking sides, forming new alliances, and reigniting old rivalries. Port Charles stands on the brink of a conflict that could redefine everything. Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, this disaster will leave deep scars on everyone involved. No one will come out of this unchanged. And when the dust settles, Port Charles will face a new reality, one where the lines between right and wrong, friend and foe, are more blurred than ever. This may be the beginning of a new era in Port Charles. An era where the old rules no longer apply, and everyone must navigate a world filled with danger and uncertainty. Ava will be stabbed. A shocking turn of events awaits the residents of Port Charles when an unexpected attack leaves the powerful businesswoman bloodied and critically wounded. But if the weapon used is Helena's dagger, bearing Alexis's fingerprints, it confirms a chilling new phase of Sidwell's meticulously crafted plan. This ancient weapon, the one that once ended Alexis's mother's life, now returns as the perfect tool to send Alexis to prison. It's almost too perfect to believe. When Ava is found near death with the dagger still lodged in her body, the Port Charles police will quickly launch an investigation. Finding Alexis's fingerprints on the weapon will make her the prime suspect. Adding to that is the very public feud between Ava and Alexis, especially after Ava's blackmail over Christina. The motive will seem crystal clear. Alexis Davis, respected attorney, tried to murder Ava Jerome. Another twist in Sidwell's design comes with Alexis's arrest, completely unaware of what has unfolded. Focused on protecting Christina, she won't see it coming when police show up at her door with a warrant. Shocked and confused, Alexis will struggle to understand how she, someone who's always upheld the law, could be accused of a crime she didn't commit. Her arrest will send shockwaves through Port Charles. Diane, her close friend and colleague, will rush to her defense, but even with her top-tier legal skills, explaining the presence of Alexis's fingerprints on the murder weapon will be a near-impossible challenge. Christina, overwhelmed with guilt for her role in setting off the chain of events, may once again fall into self-destructive behavior. Molly, driven by both love and her legal training, will dive into her own investigation. As she uncovers suspicious activity at the law firm and begins to suspect Marco's involvement, she might uncover the threads connecting him to Sidwell. But can she find enough evidence in time to clear her mother's name? Sonny, despite a rocky history with Alexis, won't stand by while his daughter's mother is falsely accused. He'll leverage his influence and network to get to the truth, leading to a direct confrontation with Sidwell, one with potentially explosive consequences. As Sidwell continues pushing his agenda, with Alexis in custody and Ava barely clinging to life, he turns his focus to the real prize, Windmere. He'll begin maneuvering to claim the castle, using legal loopholes or even underhanded tactics. Each passing day brings him closer to victory, while Alexis loses hope. Port Charles is on the verge of an unprecedented power struggle. New alliances will form, secrets will come to light, and relationships will be tested like never before. Will Alexis prove her innocence? Will Ava survive? And will Sidwell's malevolent plan succeed? The answers will shape the future of Port Charles in the months to come, ushering in a new era for this turbulent town. Diane and Molly will have a new mission. The story of how they deal with the troubles Alexis is facing is truly causing a new shock to emerge. When Alexis is arrested and charged with assaulting Ava, Diane does not simply play the role of defense attorney but becomes the leader in the fight to clear her best friend's name. With her sharp legal experience and unwavering determination, Diane begins to build a strong defense strategy, exploring every flaw and contradiction in the evidence against Alexis. Molly, with her legal knowledge from law school and deep love for her mother, becomes Diane's indispensable right hand. She puts aside all other aspects of her life to focus on proving her mother's innocence. The combination of Molly's academic knowledge and Diane's practical experience forms a formidable legal team, one that Sidwell never saw coming. One of the new pressures making things escalate even further is when Diane and Molly begin digging into Sidwell's past, uncovering secrets and contradictions he had tried to hide. They discover that Sidwell has a personal vendetta against the Cassadine family, a vendetta stemming from an old betrayal that few know about. Specifically, Sidwell's father once worked for Mikos Cassadine and was betrayed, leading to his mysterious death. Sidwell has spent his life preparing for this revenge plot. And Windermere is the ultimate symbol of victory he desires. Diane and Molly also begin to suspect Marco's role at the law firm. They notice suspicious behavior, secretive phone calls, mysteriously copied documents, and Marco showing up where he shouldn't be. Molly, with the sharp instincts of youth and unencumbered by professional assumptions, starts following Marco, discovering secret meetings between him and Sidwell. This is turning the story into something far more complex than just defending Alexis. They are now uncovering a much larger conspiracy. They begin to realize that the attack on Ava is only part of a bigger, more complicated plan, one aimed at taking control of Windermere and possibly even Port Charles. They understand that Sidwell is not only targeting Alexis but also everyone connected to the Cassadine family, and the assault on Ava could be just the first step in a larger violent campaign. This discovery changes their strategy entirely. Instead of only focusing on defending Alexis, they now must warn and protect others who might be Sidwell's next targets. This includes reaching out to Nicholas, Spencer, and other members of the Cassadine family to warn them about the potential danger. They also must figure out how to protect Ava, who, despite her complicated history with Alexis, is now a key witness who could help identify the real attacker. This is proving to be one of the craziest developments yet as Diane and Molly face unexpected challenges. Sidwell, realizing his plan is being threatened, begins to fight back. He starts spreading rumors about Diane, suggesting that she has ties to illegal activities and is untrustworthy. He also targets Molly, using her relationship with TJ and his position at the hospital to apply pressure. Sidwell even tries to reach out to Christina, hoping to manipulate her and create a rift between her and Molly. The pressure is mounting from all sides. Alexis remains in jail, with the trial date approaching. Ava is still in critical condition, with her recovery uncertain. And now, Diane and Molly are facing personal threats from Sidwell. But instead of backing down, they become even more determined. They understand that this is not just a fight to save Alexis. It's a fight to protect Port Charles from a dangerous manipulator. As their investigation gets closer to the truth, Diane and Molly begin to gather allies. They approach Sonny, who, with his resources and connections, can provide valuable support and protection. They reach out to Jordan, the Port Charles police chief, sharing their suspicions and requesting a covert investigation into Sidwell. They even seek help from Robert Scorpio, with his investigative experience and ties to international intelligence agencies. The battle between Diane, Molly, and Sidwell is becoming one of the most outrageous stories Port Charles has ever witnessed. With every move Sidwell makes, they respond. With every threat, they have a solution. And with every piece of evidence Sidwell tries to hide, they find a new clue. This is not just a legal battle, it's an intellectual battle. One where the side that is smarter and more determined will ultimately win. As the tension rises, Port Charles is preparing for an explosive conclusion. Can Diane and Molly prove Alexis's innocence before it's too late? Can they expose Sidwell's conspiracy before he causes more damage? And will Port Charles survive this storm? Or will the town be forever changed by these events? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, this battle will leave deep scars on everyone involved. And no one will be the same after it's all over. Ava will die, and this is setting the stage for a new disaster in Port Charles. News of Ava Jerome's death will spread through the town like a tidal wave, leaving shock and confusion in its wake for all who knew her. Ava, a complicated figure, equally loved and hated, will pass away in a storm of controversy, just as she lived. Her body will be discovered at her own gallery, the same Helena's dagger still lodged in her chest. A scene perfectly staged to frame Alexis Davis. Indeed. One of the new complications is rising from the obsession with rewriting the story now that Ava's death has turned the investigation from an assault case to a murder case. With Ava no longer able to tell her side of the story, Sidwell is free to shape the narrative in the way that best suits his plan. He begins spreading rumors that Alexis had threatened Ava before. That witnesses saw her leaving the gallery on the night of the incident, and even hints that Sunny may have helped Alexis cover up her crime. With Ava gone, many secrets and hidden deals disappear with her. The information she held about Christina, Sunny, and many other powerful figures in Port Charles is now lost forever. This creates a power and information vacuum that Sidwell is quickly filling with his lies and manipulations. He begins approaching Ava's old allies, offering to protect them from a similar fate while gathering more information that he can use to manipulate and control. The new change is truly making one of the wildest events unfold as Sidwell's web of lies continues to expand. He's not just blaming Alexis for Ava's death but is also implying that this may be part of a larger plot involving the Corinthos family. He starts presenting fake evidence, suggesting that Sunny may have ordered Alexis to kill Ava in order to eliminate a threat to his family. This not only makes Alexis seem more guilty but could also ignite a new gang war in Port Charles, one that Sidwell hopes will weaken Sunny's power and create an opportunity for him to take over. As news of Ava's death spreads, reactions throughout Port Charles vary greatly. Avery, Ava and Sunny's daughter, is faced with the pain of losing her mother, a pain no child should have to endure. Carly, despite her complicated history with Ava, feels an unexpected sense of loss, a recognition that despite all their conflicts, Ava was an essential part of the Port Charles picture. And Nicholas, who once loved Ava deeply, faces the pain of losing a woman he could never forget, despite all the complications in their relationship. Sidwell's crime is certainly escalating as he realizes that his plan is unfolding more smoothly than expected. With Ava dead and Alexis incarcerated, he can focus on his next target, Nicholas Cassadine. Sidwell begins spreading rumors that Nicholas might have been involved in Ava's death, that there may have been a serious argument between them before Ava died. The purpose of these rumors is to isolate Nicholas, weaken his position in the community and the Cassadine family, and set the stage for Sidwell to move forward with his plan to take over Windermere. However, Sidwell didn't anticipate that Ava's death would unite those who often clash. Sunny and Nicholas, despite their tense history, begin to cooperate to uncover the truth about Ava's death. They start sharing information and resources, both realizing that there is a larger common enemy they must face. Sunny, with his underground connections, begins investigating Sidwell's past, while Nicholas, with access to Cassadine documents and assets, is looking for any ties between his family and Sidwell. Diane and Molly, now facing an even more serious situation, have ramped up their efforts. They must not only prove Alexis's innocence but also stop Sidwell before he can cause more harm. They begin working with Sam, whose private investigator experience allows her to access areas and information Diane and Molly cannot. Together, they start to paint a picture of Sidwell and his true motivations. A picture that is becoming more and more troubling. As the investigation progresses, they discover that Sidwell not only wants to take over Windermere but also seeks access to something hidden within the castle, an ancient Cassadine treasure that may hold unimaginable power and secrets. They also uncover that this is not the first time Sidwell has tried to reach Windermere. He has failed before, but this time, he is determined to succeed, no matter how many lives it costs. As Port Charles continues to mourn Ava's death and worry about Alexis's fate, one thing is clear: no one is safe while Sidwell remains at large. His plan is slowly being revealed. An ambitious and dangerous plot far beyond just killing Ava and framing Alexis. It is a plan that could permanently alter the face of Port Charles. And only cooperation between those who often oppose each other can stop it. As the town prepares for Ava's funeral and Alexis's upcoming trial, the tension is mounting. Everyone is picking sides. Secrets are being exposed, and new alliances are being formed. And at the center of all this is Sidwell, a man determined to achieve his goal, no matter how many innocent people he must sacrifice. Can Port Charles survive this storm? Only time will tell.